Okay, for this assignment, you're going to need a piece of paper, or you can draw in your sketchbook. And you're also going to need your triangle and your architecture scale and a pencil. So what we're going to draw is start off a floor plan. So we're going to be using 1/4 inch on our architecture scale, and it's right here. The 1/4 is 1/4 inch. And we're going to go ahead and start with our line. We want to orient our paper horizontally. And we're going to start drawing our line from 0, and we're going to go up to 20. So what I like to do is I kind of like to mark my points like this. Leave about this much room with the scale, because that means we won't let me just show you. So I'm going to mark from 0 on my 1/4 inch scale, because we always start at 0, and we're going to go all the way up to 20. So again, because we are using the 1/4 inch scale, the 0 starts with a bigger number. So we're going to use the bigger numbers to guide us to 20. So 0, 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18, 20. So we're going to mark 20, and we're going to mark it at 0. Okay, can't really see the dots. Here they are, right there and right there. And we're going to use our triangle now to align it with the bottom sheet of the paper. And this is something that we're always going to do. So because our line is going to be like this vertically, this is basically what a triangle is used for. It's for us to make straight lines. So if I make this straight line and connect the dots, this straight line will be parallel to the paper. And now our floor plan will be completely parallel, and we will have 90-degree angles, which is what we want. So we're going to connect this line and this line, or this dot and this dot. Oops, I messed up. Okay. And before you draw that line, you definitely need to make sure that the bottom of your triangle is lining up precisely with the bottom of that paper, because that is what's going to give us that parallel line to the edge of our paper. Okay, so that is our 20-foot line, and we can verify that again by putting it at the 0 on my 1/4 inch scale to 20. See, so 0 to 20. And the reason I like doing that distance is because if I need to add something off to the side, I'm not like crammed over here, and if I need to draw a line, like I'm not falling off the paper. And then that distance where our 0 starts, you see how I kind of lined it up right there? So this distance is a good enough distance as well, to where we're not at the very edge of the paper. Now what we're going to draw is this line off to the right. And I'm going to draw the line this way, so I'm going to rotate my triangle like this, and then my line will now, I'm going to use the long part of the triangle to make the line this way. But notice how I'm going to align it with the edge of the paper, because now with aligning at the edge of the paper, we can get a perfect 90-degree angle once we draw this horizontal line. So I'm still going to use my 1/4 inch scale. Hi. Hi, sorry, I'm doing a pre-recording real quick, so I'll be here. Okay, so again, I'm going to be at my 1/4 inch scale, and now I'm going to draw a .30-foot line. So let me move that away for right now. I'm going to start at the 0 because obviously every line is going to start at the 0. So I'm going to line it up with this original line that we had it, and I'm going to do 30 feet. So again, we're going by the big numbers: 0, 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18, 20, 22, 24, 26, 28, 30. 30 feet. I did put a little dot right here. So basically, here's the reason again why we use this triangle. Yeah, I could technically like connect the dots like this, but is it a straight line? Probably not. And in architecture, our lines do need to be perfectly straight, have perfect right angles, and this is the reason why we have these tools to use it. So I'm going to rotate my paper because it's going to be a little easier for me to do it like this. So I need to make sure that the triangle is lined up to the edge of the paper before I make any lines. And I noticed that my triangle isn't going to reach over here, so I can't continue the line. So I'm just going to go as long as I can. Let's see. Okay. And then I could just move the triangle and flip it around. And then look how I'm still aligning it with the bottom. Look for that line. Make sure it's lined up right here. There we go. So now that's my 30-foot line. Now we're going to go up, and obviously when we go up, we're going to put the triangle like this. You could always just kind of have it here to use it as a guide, but we're not going to draw the line yet because obviously we need our architecture scale for the distance. So we're going to use 1/4, and we're going to do 10 feet. So I'm going to mark it or align it with the 0, that line that we just made, and then we're going to go up 10 feet. I'm going to mark it at 10 feet. There you go. Let me show you how that's 10 feet real quick. So again, because we're using the 1/4, the 0 is big, so we're going to use the big numbers: 0, 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. Align this with the bottom sheet of the paper, and we're going to connect our lines. Where was I? Okay, so we did that 10-foot line. Now we're going to go into the left on a horizontal line, and this one's going to be, I'm going to turn it upside down. This one's going to be 10 feet again. So line it up with the 0 because we always start from 0. We're going to do 10. So I made a line. This time I'm going to flip the triangle, line it up with the edge of the paper, and we're going to go to the point where the 10 is. There we go. So notice I didn't connect technically the point. My dot was actually a little off this time, but I stopped at the 10 location. Just like, look. Because this is the straight line. We go off of this. We don't connect the lines. We use this for the straight line, but we do measure it. So it's still 0 to 10 exactly. Now we're gonna go up 10. So I'm gonna kind of mark it. So I'm gonna do 10. I'm actually gonna go backwards. So starting from 0, I already know that it's gonna be 10 feet. So I'm gonna put it at 10. I'm gonna put the dot at 0. Align it with the bottom of the paper. And I'm gonna go up 10. So this is 10. 0 to 10 on our 1/4 inch scale. Now at this point I could definitely just connect the lines because 10 plus 10 is 20 and we know that was 20 feet. So let's not try too hard. Align it with the edge of the paper. And it should connect perfectly. There we go. Now if we wanted to check how long this line should be, it should be on our 1/4 inch scale, 0 to 20. So it's a 20-foot line. Okay, now let's go ahead and start with drawing our wall thicknesses. So our exterior walls are going to be 6 inches. And let me actually write the scale here too. This is the scale of our drawing. Remember, we're at 1/4 inch equals 1 foot. So the scale of our drawing and our exterior walls are 6 inches. So 1/4 inch, and remember that 0, anything before the zeros are inches. So 0, technically this is 1 foot, so 0 to 1 foot, how many inches are in there? That's 12 inches total that we see here. 12 inches total that we see here. And then, so half of 12 is 6, we know that. So if this is 0 and this is 12, then this must be 6. It literally gives us the halfway point. So our exterior walls are going to be this thick from 0 to 6 inches. So we're going to go draw that. So I'm going to mark it up with the edge of the 6 inches and the 0. I'm going to put a little tick mark right there. And that's a 6-inch distance. So I'm going to grab my triangle. I'm going to line it up with the bottom of the paper so we can have that straight line. I don't know why I do that. And I'm going to draw my 6-inch line. And I want to do that for all the walls because an exterior wall is the outside, and if these are our outside walls, then it needs to be 6 inches. So just to save me time, I'm actually going to go mark all of them and then I will grab my triangle. So I did from the edge and I put a little tick where the 0 is, and that'll mark 6 inches. I'm going to do, now this one I would go up. Oh, actually. I'm not going to get ahead of myself. I'm actually just going to do this. So notice how I'm drawing the 6 inches. So originally, this was my line, correct? I could either choose to draw it on this side or on this side, but we already have our dimensions set. If I drew it on the outside, then my overall building would have become wider. It would have been then, let's see, if this was 20, I think we did this 30. It would have become 30 feet, 6 inches. And then if we added the 6 inches on the outside as well, it would become 31 feet. So we need to make sure we draw our exterior walls on the inside because we don't want this building to get any bigger. So I'm just going to continue. I'm not going to get ahead of myself. Line it up with the bottom part of the paper. Turn it around, line it up with the bottom part of the paper. Ooh. I'm actually going to measure 6 inches from here as well. 6 to 0. There we go, 6 inches. Again, on our 1/4 inch scale, 0, 6 inches. And remember, we're drawing it inside, not outside. We don't want our building to get bigger. One-4 inch scale. That halfway point to 0, that's 6 inches. Line it up with the edge of the paper and go across. Okay, now here's where it's going to get tricky. Obviously, I can measure 6 inches from here, but it's still going to need to connect. So instead of just stopping it right there, I am, without measuring it, just going to go slightly further out. And then I could erase the excess later. So from this point, because this is an unknown area, so we're going to start at this known area. We're going to do the halfway point to mark at the 0, 6 inches. Align it with the bottom part of the paper. There we go, 6 inches. Now I could erase this little overlap. And now I'm going to connect it. Zero to 6. And align it with the edge of the paper. And continue the lines all the way over. There we go. Lastly, we do want to dimension our lines. So, a dimension line, remember, the dimension line looks like this. I'm going to draw it, and then just so you watch real quick, the dimension lines do go slightly above. We're going to dimension our drawing. So let's go ahead and put it, our dimension lines, using the 1/4, let's put it a foot away. Actually, let's put it 2 feet away. No. Yeah, let's put it 2 feet away from the outside wall. So let's go ahead and mark 2. So I'm going to do the edge, 2, and I go 1 foot, 0 feet. So this is a 2 foot distance. We're going to do a 2 foot distance. We're just going to draw a light line right here. We're going to use these as our dimension lines. I'm still lining it up no matter what line I draw. It needs to be precise. I'm going to kind of carry them up. I'm kind of doing these a little bit lighter. Okay, so it's kind of be like a dimension line. I'm going to overlap them to where it has that little overlapped effect. And then add a little cross slash. And then this dimension, like we had said at the beginning, was 20 feet. So it's going to be 0 to 20 feet. So I'm going to erase a little part out of the center. That's why we drew a thin line, because when you draw super dark, it's super hard to erase. So I'm going to do 20 feet. Remember, the feet has 1 tick, and our inch has 2 ticks. There we go. We're going to want to do that for all our lines. So again, I said we needed about a 2 foot distance. So we start the line about right here. Just gonna find where the thing ends, the house ends. Still lining up at the bottom of the paper, kind of doing those overlaps. Flip the triangle, line it up with the edge of the paper, make it overlap. Do the little slash thing, erase the middle part. And this right here was as well. Let's remeasure it. 0 to 20 feet. Okay, now let's do this one down here. It has to be about 2 feet away on our 1/4 inch scale. Remember, this is the long one. Your triangle might be longer than mine, so I was just thinking about that. I think I have a shorter triangle when I use this fluorescent one. Still lining up at the edge of the paper. Overlap them. Overlap them. Do that little tick mark thing or the slash. And this dimension was 30 feet. So we could verify that again. 0 on our 1/4 inch scale to 30. Feet. And lastly, oh wait, no, we still have 3 more to go, not lastly. Okay, 2 feet away for a dimension line. Lining it up with the edge of the paper. Getting the width of this little part of the building, bringing the lines out. Making sure the overlaps there. Do the little slashes. And let's remember that this one is 10 feet, 0 to 10 on our 1/4 inch scale. Okay, 2 more to go. And let's mark it. This is 2 feet. Overlap it. Okay. Now this one right here, we don't really have to make a line, but this is where the slashes are important because this one obviously overlaps and our slash would kind of just go in that intersection where both these lines meet, the corner of the house and the dimension line. So that's why the slashes are important, because it's saying that this is kind of like you can view it better, that it's from that point to that point, that it's 10 feet. Let's go ahead and verify that it's 10 feet. Remember, we're verifying from 0, the exterior, to 10 on our 1/4 inch scale. Now our last one, we want to make sure it's about 2 feet off. Line it up with the edge of the paper. And now this one you take all the way over. You take it all the way over because we are getting this dimension to this corner out here of the house. So it's going to overlap with that dimension line. Okay, make sure they overlap. And do a little slash here. And now this one is going to be over here where the edge of the house and the dimension line meet. And now that we're going to make a little spot for it in the center, and we know this is 10 feet, but we could always verify by measuring. Remember, it's from the exterior point 10 feet. And that's it. That's what you should be left with. There you go.